Right, let us get into the series between Fard and wookl. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Harrison, and we are back for another series of Age of Empires 3. This is a Play All 5 series, part of the EPL League number 2. This is week number 2 between the SKG clan and the Mandarin Duck squad. We have Fard playing wookl. Both these players are the team's substitutes, I believe, or certainly in the lower tier of the spectrum, so we should still see some close games, but maybe things not as fully crisp as their champion counterparts, but I'm still very excited for this matchup. We do see Fard representing the SKG clan spawning into the left-hand side of the map on Adirondacks, playing as the Ottoman civilization in the colour blue. And his opponent, wookl, spawning onto the right-hand side of the map, playing as the German civilization in the colour red. And this week, game 1, the map is Adirondacks. We did see a wood crate start, both players going for an early trading post this map, and wookl will be able to get this trading post up just in time before the XP pass comes in, and that XP has greatly helped wookl's XP count in the first age, and we should see an earlier 2 settler wagon shipment to help out. He may want to increase his wood gathering, but it looks like he's already up to about 90, and he's got 2 villagers on the wood. Where's his second wood gatherer? I don't see the second wood gatherer, but it is somewhere. Maybe it's a villa on the other side of the tree. Oh, can't see it. But a house is going down though, so we should be able to see that 2 settler wagons coming in very early for wookl. The house is down, and that shipment is just about to be sent. He's probably just picking a deck, and there we go. 135 XP for Germans as well. One of the really good shipments for Germany. They have an XP penalty with their home city shipments, and so this will greatly help Germans' momentum into kind of that mid-age 2 after that first and second shipment passes through. In the meantime, Fard is just doing his Ottoman things, hunting underneath his base, house and a trading post. It should have enough wood left over for something else. He does have 100 wood remaining, and we usually see players dropping down a mosque at this point to further increase their XP generation and then give access to the villager training upgrades which the Ottoman mosque provides. But Fard keeping that wood close to himself at the moment. Maybe he wants to invest that into a second trading post in transition. Maybe a fast barracks. We'll have to find out. Governor age up from the Fard. That is the tower, 200 coin, usually seen with fast fortress strategies. So let us see if Fard follows that up with 700 coin. wookl currently working on 90 food, 3 wolves, and both players having a very awkward map, shall we say. wookl is starting hunt, 1 elk nearby, another elk nearby, but other players' hunts are certainly out on the field, and this hunt was a little bit closer to this coin mine but started to walk away. I think wookl needs to try and fight for this forwards hunt, but I think the German player will have enough food in his base and these 2 coin mines to stabilize into the early 3rd age and then be able to break out if need be. Looking at early treasures here, we do see Fard going for 80 XP, 40 coin, and not really much useful treasures here for the Ottoman player, compared to wookl's 135 XP, 90 food, and the XP for the German civ much more impactful. I mean, Fard has just got himself a second TP to help out, but that's something the German player couldn't do, and that's why the 135 XP for German civ was very nice. But coming across a 95 wood treasure here, Fard will see that, be quite happy to come across that, and maybe not be able to incorporate it into his own build. Could drop an extra mosque down or another house, but denying it from the German player, really important here. outpost wagon moving across the map. We do see the German explorer chasing this down, trying to find out where this outpost is going, but you can just expect the outpost has been dropped right on top of this trading post. We may see a barracks coming down as well on the 700 wood shipment at this point, but at the moment just a forward outpost and business as usual for the Ottoman player on a 2 TP fast fortress strategy. In-base market for wookl, getting Gangsaw first shipment, wood coming down, hunting dogs afterwards. The Gangsaw does suggest he may think about going for in-base barracks and crossbow pikes, but crossbow pikes into Ottoman fast fortress, I'm not too sure is the best strategy here. We did see that a better way TS could have played it was to go straight into the fortress age when he was playing versus Maito on last Sunday stream. It was on Monday actually, very recently, and go into pure Black Riders or War Wagons to deny Fard. But you know, Fard having the resources, clicking up to the third age, and I wonder if we'll see anything like an early January shipment coming up from Fard after the 700 wood, which is usually expected to come as next shipment. We do see 5 pikes coming out from wookl first infantry batch, trying to siege down the outpost, and the German explorer put in a shift, taking down a lot of HP from the outpost, probably about 500. 2 settlers forward from Fard as well, trying to punch down these Uhlans, but actually the Uhlans getting the best of the settlers. This outpost is going down very fast, and we see this wookl cover mode on this pike. He's trying to delay these damage coming in from outposts, it looks like. Maybe taking off just then. Another settler out and about trying to punch down, but the outpost has gone down. Second villager from Fard's gone down, so lots of eco going away from the Ottoman player, and that forward outpost. Fard would be playing a fast fortress style, but from his base. Falconets will have to ship from his town centre, and it will take a while to press across the map. Eight Expos, second shipment from wookl, and if the early crossbow bikes being trained wasn't given enough clue as it is, this 8 Expos does suggest that wookl was to be put under pressure. However, though, 700 coin does come in behind. Most vills now on the food. This 8 Expos probably not needed, but it does kind of give Fard that false sense of security that he's been pressured a little bit more. But I suppose if you're being pressured or not, Fard will be looking to go for military shipments here and try and press his technology advantage at this point, because his eco is certainly nowhere near close to what the German player has. The 700 coin gathered up from the German player, now mining coin as well, but clicking in that age up, and we do see exiled prince coming in from wookl. Does have 1600 coin here, another 2000 coin behind his base. There's a lot of coin here for wookl to gather up, but no placer mines currently researched. That is a little sad sight to see. However, a bit of wood being chopped here. I think wookl has realised he needs that placer mines upgrade, and maybe we could see. Well, we don't have a stable down, so it'd be quite awkward to get a stable being put down either on top of a wood being bought from the market or on a 700 wood shipment. I'd actually like wookl to go pure gold at this point and go mercenaries. Black Riders very strong in this matchup. 5 Ulan raid left side, however, walking past the train post straight away, going to get scouted, actually stopping off to do some siege damage. Vet Jans from Fard pushing out across the map with the veterancy upgrades, as well as the 4 Hussars from the age up. But like the previous game we saw versus Maito TLS, I think 3 War Wagons would be a very nice shipment from wookl in the third age to try and stabilise from this. He hasn't seen this pressure coming across the map just yet, but you can kind of sense it's coming. 2 Falconets, unprotected at the moment. Ulan's nearby, but I don't think the Uhlans will get onto those Falconets. That'd be a massive pickup if he does. But 5 Colonial Uhlans pinned down now by the Hussars. This is such an awkward sight to see if you're wookl. But now seeing the Jans, and he's even walking the Falconets across the map as well. I think wookl, or at least will get that solace knowing that he's got the time to go into War Wagons at this point. Stable being down. Let's look at units in queue, and he's going for 2 settlers and probably equal coin and gold, maybe war wagon production, and we do see the first one being produced now. Right, Falconets across the map. War wagons pushing out at this point, getting a nice volley on the Falconets. Not losing any units there to the Falconets, but losing quite a bit of HP on these war wagons. I feel that wookl just needs to sit back and try and mass as many of these units as possible, because these are critical for dealing with units like the veteran Janissary and the Falconets. Even train some more skirmishers behind this. Quite nice idea, I guess. But it's the war wagons is what you desperately need. But it looks like though he's starting to run out of that food in the base. It does have a couple hunts near the back, and this is where that Black Rider shipments from wookl will be much more impactful than going to normal unit production. Falconets get a nice volley on these infantry. They're only picking up 1 skirmisher. Oh, that's a bigger volley though. 2 pikes, 2 crossbows likely, and a skirmisher going down there. Fard be happy with that trade. And there's enough Janissaries here just to kind of sit on top of these Falconets and let the Falconets do the work. You don't want to let these Falconets go so unprotected, and this is a poor placement from Fard. Ulan's coming in to try and pick one up, but slow movement due to this grouping of the war wagons and with the infantry. 1 Falconet just about surviving, and that can get picked off with town centre fire very, very fast. 2 war wagons coming up to the south side, picking up a couple of these hussars. How many villages have gone down to that raid to the south? Only 2 vills, not the biggest of deals. Now pikemen finishing off the Uhlans at this point. 13 vills in the town centre. Is he focusing down this Falconet with a fire? He's not. He's focusing on the wrong Falconet. Another Falconet still standing at 3 HP, but getting taken off now. So good pick up there by wookl. He's going pure coin at this point. No shipment queue. May have another shipment on the way at this point, but it's not coming in just yet. But there it is, 8 skirmishers, 3 Uhlans. Skirmishers and settlers coming out with greatcoats to try and tank. But the rest of this army from wookl needs to be engaging at this point. Needs to be engaging all together. It's just now a couple of skirmishers taken down. Both the Falconets down though, so it could be worse. So nice defense there from wookl, managing to take down both of those Falconets, only losing 2 settlers as well. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong side. wookl's lost 5, and that's quite a large proportion of the German eco to lose early on, as well as losing some valuable infrastructure at the front, including a market, a house, maybe a second house as well. But 1,000 coin is gathered up. A shipment is nearly on the way. XP pass just come in. That should be enough to get that shipment, and I believe wookl is going to queue up. I don't think he's queued up the mercenaries. He's just clicked a shipment, but the coin count hasn't gone down, and this would have been ideal time for German Black Riders. Hopefully he's not shipping the frigate by mistake due to how fast he clicked it, but no, he's cancelled that shipment. I think he's waiting for more coin to get the 1,000 to send Black Riders or Jaegers, and although there's a pure Janissary mass here, Fard himself sending the 1k coin, looking to follow up with Mamelukes at this point. Janissary is moving down to the south side, picking up more villagers. wookl gathering on coin mines, where he still had coin in his base, 1,300 coin available. So his villagers were quite far out on the wrong mine, but trying to get some extra hunts. The map balance was poor for both players, but it just Fard using his strength as the Ottoman civilization in this matchup, pushing out early, trying to put pressure on wookl. I'd like to see more coin gathering from him and try and pivot onto pure mercenaries at this point, because if you do have your coin income, then great, you can pump out these strong units like the 9 Black Riders and 12 Jaegers. One skirmisher in queue from wookl. The skirmisher in queue does suggest that Black Riders were sent and on the way, and yeah, I really like this decision from wookl. And there we go, 9 Black Riders out in the field. 520 HP, 40 range attack. Really important to notice here, 40% hand resist. If the Mamelukes come out, these Black Riders are basically immune to the Mamelukes and can just take their hand damage for nothing and just try and focus down. And speaking of the Mamelukes out in the field, these War Wagons and Black Riders focus down the Janissaries. These are the damage dealers. Do not spend your time on the Mamelukes. Janissaries is what you need to pick off at the moment, but he's too busy kiting the Mamelukes and letting all these Janissaries with the range damage of 24 slowly destroy his entire army. Forget the Mams, only 34 hand attack and so much HP. This is a micro mistake from wookl, I believe. And I think it's now starting to turn his fire to the Janissaries here. Tanky anti-cavalry out to the front, absorbing Janissary fire. Skirmishers at the back doing the damage versus these Jans. A couple of Mamluks trying to sneak in again, but it's just drawing wookl's fire, and a couple of Mams. You can just train another batch of War Wagons or send 5 Duppels or 9 Ulans to try and clean this up. These Jans, this is the biggest problem you have, and he's now done a decent job focusing this down now that all the Mamluks are gone. I feel that more of these Jans can be picked up early though. You can see from wookl though how many War Wagons he's lost. He's lost 1 War Wagon, but 6 Black Riders, and it feels like that Black Riders is also that kind of ticket to send in the 12 Jaegers to stabilise, but without enough anti-cav now, the 12 Jaeger play would seem risky. We may have to see wookl going for 9 Ulans as the next shipment, which he does send. These Jans though, you've got so many skirmishes, your priority is to pick these Jans off. 9 Ulans to snare on the right side. Nice for snaring, but actually, with your skirmishes so far at the range, you don't want to donate your Ulans to this heavy infantry mass just yet. And you just see wookl's just trying to close in, but Fard pulling his units away very, very fast. Who knows, Fard might even pop out 5 Spahies at this point. Big raid though, south side. Settlers, they do have their great coats, but lots of ranged infantry and Ulans nearby, as well as these high damaging War Wagons. Most of these villagers would go down here, and this is a lovely pickup here from wookl. That's going to drag him right back into the game. Spahies do come out, north side raid. Very good raiders these are, but villagers get into the town centre. Coin Mine still available in his own base, but he's out on the field. This is certainly an interesting, action-packed game so far into game number 1. Veteran Ulans have come in. I like wookl to go for 8 Ulans now, actually. 8 Ulans will be enough to chase down these 5 Spahies and try and trade off nicely versus these guys. And then it's just that Janissary mass dealing with this massive skirmishers and the War Wagons. Actually, those Janissaries, those Spahies slightly out of position here. This should be a good pickup for wookl, but does not need to engage or lose his veteran Ulans. These are very important and need to be directed onto the Spahies. Let the remaining units tackle. But I feel that now quite a lot of these Ulans have gone down, and not many anti-cavalry here actually. These Spahies might do some work. Right, all the anti-cavalry coming is now down on the floor. Fard still has 4 Spahies, relatively high HP, strong hand attack with area. These skirmishers fell over very, very quickly. And 8 spies? Why are there 8 spies? Of course there's 8 spies. Black Riders and Jaegers. What a smart shipment from Fard. And if wookl has one way to get back in of sending Jaegers and hoping for the best, these spies should be enough to shut that down. I would really like him to hide these though. Running spies into your opponent's base just shows what you're dealing, and basically he's playing poker with his cards on the table visible to his opponents at the moment. Another settler wagon going down to these Spahies. Another 2 villagers going down as well. I think wookl's eco is starting to look worse for wear. Ulans do come out. A couple of skirmishers out. These spies are trapped. Rest in peace, these guys. Going for a little beach time visit. They're getting caught up by the German cavalry and German skirmishers. So spies going down. Nice amount of XP here for the German player. Could use that to bounce off on another shipment. Let's look at what Fard's got remaining in his deck. He's gone for the 5 Spahis, he's gone for the 4 Mams. He has 3 Spahis available as well, and only at 600 food. This could be a tactical shipment for him to send now and have 7 Spahis on the field where wookl doesn't have much anti-cavalry potential. Falconets was shipped early on, Jan's already used up. No Avis guns or Cav archers though for the Ottoman player. 4 Spahis sniffing out where those skirmishes are, and looks like Fard is going to move in again for another push to Spahis. Sends in 4 settlers as the card afterwards. I know Fard was trying to remass his eco after that massive raid from the German player, but 4 settlers at 19 minutes feels a bit of an awkward shipment at this point, especially when you had some still strong military shipments to go. Barracks gets picked off. That was low HP from before. But these Spahis just tearing through the Minutemen and skirmishers, and just waiting for those 8 Uhlans to get into some sort of engagement from wookl here. Oh, this is smart play from Fard. He knows that these Spahis are very pivotal for him clenching this game, used for raiding villagers, picking up skirmishers. There's so much HP underneath these Janissaries, they're happy to take Town Centre fire, but Town Centre going down, 10 vills inside, and this is the majority of the German player's eco, and this will be a great raid for the German player, and it should be a GG coming in, and it looks like wookl is going to spare these villagers their lives and type GG. It was looking really good for wookl at one point, however, we have to, appreciate the map spawn for the German player wasn't favourable. Only 1 safe hunt to be able to herd it into the town centre. The other hunts were out on the map, needed to be herded or just pushing out. I thought wookl was in a really great place, especially after his Black Riders came on the field, and Fard sending, 4 Mamelukes. You have to realise that the Mamelukes, you have to send the coin to get the resources to send the Mamelukes, and then send the Mamelukes afterwards, because the Ottoman eco isn't great. And Fard really had to do was just let the Mamelukes just try and take down the Black Riders and War Wagons by hand combat, because with 520 HP and 40% hand resist, those Black Riders were not going anywhere, and then have all those anti-cavalry units like the War Wagons, the Black Riders, as well as that long line of skirmishers that wookl had, just decimate the Janissaries. And the reason why Mamluks are so strong, it's not the Mamluks themselves, it's distracting fire from your supporting units like Abus guns, Falconets, and Janissaries behind. The Janissaries were the damage dealers, and that is what picked off all of those War Wagons and Black Riders. And once those units gone down, you just saw how the 5 Spahi shipment came in like a wrecking ball and cleaned up. And yeah, at that point, I think wookl lost the game at this point, once all of those anti-cavalry units were picked off from the Janissary mass, and then those 5 Spahis were just uncontested, moving in, clean up the skirmishers. Important lesson there for this matchup, I think. You need to, in these fights, you need to decide which units are the damage dealers and which units are there as just distraction. Military population, we do see that Fard got to the 3rd age and started pumping out units, and quite a lot of these units from wookl were the colonial age Uhlans and pikemen crossbows, but eventually the Uhlans got upgraded. Crossbow and pikemen got picked off, but War Wagon batch here coming in. No, so this is the War Wagon pop, skirmisher pop, but then we did have the 9 Black Riders, and at that point wookl had more units than Fard, and War Wagons, Black Riders and skirmishers versus Jan Mamelukes. It was a really nice fight for wookl as well, and it looked like wookl was in the lead, but actually, wookl had lots of skirmishers, but only a few anti-cavalry units remaining. And we did have another batch of Uhlans at that point coming in. I believe it was Uhlans after the... Yeah, Uhlans after the 9 Black Riders. I think they were still the colonial, could have been upgraded to veteran at that point, but the Spahi pop from the Ottomans killer. The Uhlans went forward to try and snare the Janissaries, but lost about 4 or 5 Uhlans to the Jans, and then it was like 5 Spahis versus 3 Uhlans, 3 War Wagons, 2 Black Riders. With Jan support, they fell over, and then you just see wookl's army just fall apart, and just was utterly decimated due to the Ottoman heavy cavalry there. So good unit control from Fard there. And that's what we see at this level. A few mistakes here and there, and that can cost you the game. Wookl's villager population, very difficult due to the nature of this map. And we have seen a few players picking China on this map, Germany on this map. I'm not too sure they're the civs you want to be playing on Adirondacks. Civs like Ottoman, Aztec, Euro, Russia, better picks, possibly. Alright, good game there. Fard taking the 1-0 up for the SKGs. And let us go into game number 2. Fard is waiting in the lobby. wookl probably still in game. Maybe he's just reset for sound bug or router reasons. Currently offline on ESO, but should be back on very, very soon. This will be a good time to catch up and see what's been going on in the EPL number 2 so far. So far in week number 2, we've got the New World Challengers currently 4-1 up versus Manila Ninjas, and that there was due to the 4-1 victory for King Ownage II over Give Anxiety. So King Ownage II currently 4-1 up versus Optimus, 4-1 up versus Give Anxiety. One of the top performers at the moment on an 80% win record. Very nice player for the New World Challengers there. What else do we see? CMC is yet to play in week number 2, and the SKGs, we do see obviously Fars and wookl playing out today, but beforehand we did see Migo, IndiaBot, taking a 3-2 win versus Jerry Muno. I would suggest a good result there for Migo. I think I was predicting the reverse results to 3-2 to Jerry, but Migo picking up the 3-2. But Maito defeating Last Samurai 4-1. Real tough first game for the Last Samurai. And the Mandarin Duck squad, that's the reverse of the SKG matchup. And Hudson Bay Bigs yet to play. Yeah, so we haven't had too many matches so far this week number 2, but we do have 5 games today. Having a quick look at the ESO homepage, we can see the rest of today's games scheduled to be played. We have Haka, also known as Hatamoto Samurai, versus Izad. That will be the next series after this, starting at 13 GMT. Sompu Konku versus King of Osmane, another match from the SKG versus Mandarin Duck Squad weekly battle. That's kicking off at 15 GMT, and then at 17 GMT is turn of the CMC versus the Hudson Bay Bigs. Optimus Prime versus... it's all linking to the ESOC. Let's have a look on the scheduling thread and see who is playing for the Hudson Bay Bigs versus Sompu Optimus Prime. I would guess it would be Samwise, but we will need to check. Optimus Prime will be taking on Conqueror 999. Conqueror put in a good performance last time out versus Migo, I think it was, IndiaBot. Don't quote me on that one. So another exciting game there. Kevin Italien versus The Only Bouse at 20 GMT, so slightly later. And that would round up to today's games. Just reminding both players there's extra wood crates on Lumako. I'm sure wookl is fully aware of that. Fard may be a bit out of sync. Do know that Fard is quite happily playing lots of vanilla Age of Empires 3 instead of spending time on the ESOC patch. So just having to let him know. He was wanting to find out the map pool and wanted to check through the entire map pool himself beforehand, because I think he's a bit unfamiliar with some of these maps. But Lumarco, interesting map where you spawn with an extra 100 wood. Resources very mirrored as well. You usually have safe access to 2 extra hunts, 2 coin mines as well as a nearby third. It's a pretty decent map in terms of resources for a nice defensive play, and then resources you have to push out on the top side. But wookl going Ottoman here. He wants to repay the favour that Fard gave to him in game number 1. King of Osman versus Ops. Oh no, they're the same team. That's fine. These guys just practicing. Looks like. Are we ready to go yet? Fard's still thinking of a Civ to play into Ottomans, and we could even see a reverse matchup here. But I think Ottoman will be slightly favoured due to the extra wood crate. Usually, giving Ottomans the option to go for 2 trading posts in age 1, but if it's just a food or a coin start, then trading post, mosque and a house is still available for the Ottoman Civ. German player will be able to access another trading post safe, so both Civs benefiting from that wood crate. I'm not too sure Fard is a player who likes to play China as well. I think China is a nice map, nice Civ on this map. Istanbul is Fard's home city, but let's check what Fard is dealing with in his home cities. Max home city level with the Germans, Ottomans, Portuguese, British. Yeah, you can see it's a vanilla player, can't you? It's pretty clear. His war chief civilizations and Asian civilizations are certainly low on levels and possibly playtime. I know that Fard is more of a vanilla player here. Having said that though, Fard is going for the Sioux, and Sioux does a decent job versus Ottomans, but I'm not too sure the Sioux can make the best use of that early wood crate. We'll have to see. I think wookl wouldn't be too bad with this at the moment. I guess Sioux can go for an early market, hunting dogs, and a Sioux TP. Welcome back, guys, to game number 2 between Fard and wookl. Another matchup between the SKGs and Mandarin Duck Squad. Spawning into game number 2, we do see wookl picking the Ottoman civilization due to him playing for the Mandarin Duck Squad and they having to pick first this series. Ottoman pick, trying to repay the favour which Fard gave to him in game number 1. We do see a food crate to start. Another wood crate should be spawned on the map elsewhere. Maybe it's already been picked up. Maybe it's hiding behind the trees. But it looks like one house going down. We're going to see a trading post from the Ottoman player, as well as possibly a mosque. We do see the mosque going down for wookl, so it looks like wookl is more up to speed on Ottoman play than possibly Fard is. His opponent Fard, playing as the Sioux civilization, only getting that 100 wood to start off with due to Lumarco spawn, dropping down a Sioux TP straight away. However, no extra wood for a market, and I think Fard would have been really hoping for a wood crate start so that he can get 200 wood from the starting crates to get a regular trading post as well. But otherwise, I think the Ottoman would be happy with this start. Very mirrored resources, 2 nearby hunts for both players, as well as one in-base coin mine and then defensive coin mine as well. So map balance looking very nice. wookl just getting a nice trading post early, and we'll be able to catch this first pass of the Trade Travar relative to once that TP was constructed. So a nice start. However, I think wookl has already just sent his first shipment as well, thanks to the mosque and the XP gathered from the completion of the trading post as well as other buildings. What is Fard working on down to the right hand side? A single stray dog being picked up from the Sioux Explorer. This dog, Reynosa, 15 hand attack with a small multiplier versus Treasure Guardians. A very nice unit to have in Age 1 to help. I don't believe they're getting stuck on the Trade Traveler. It's just the Sioux Explorer getting stuck on the War Dog. That Sioux Explorer needs to be out front of the War Dog to try and pull that dog along. Nearby treasures of Fard, 2 stray sheep. We do see a cougar kit as well as 40 XP. 40 coins to the south, but nothing really too big for Fard. He may try and convert this outlaw blowgunner as well, but we did see he did convert that bear, so that's convertibility currently on the cooldown for Sioux Explorer. wookl getting villagers into the town centre to do a bit of damage onto this Sioux Explorer, but I don't think that's the best play from wookl here. The Sioux Explorer, a lot of HP, and can certainly, once it gets to the age up, will get even more, and be very hard to pick this off with a town centre, and it just slows down wookl, but age up's already in queue here. Dog out of position to try and help pick up this treasure. I think Fard's just waiting for his convertibility, and he's going to take it on with the help of the outlaw blowgunner. Armour Arcantos is here. No, Armour of Arcantos. Very nice for the Sioux player. Is that been scouted out? I don't think that hasn't been scouted out for the Sioux player just yet. That's just the Ottoman player's Explorer scouting. Black Bear is sat near the Silver Mine to try and scout any forward outpost play. In the meantime, though, nice herding from Fard, and lots of these guanacos underneath the town centre. Lots of wood being chopped, but the Sioux player is currently working his way on that 75 wood, so it might take a bit of time to get to the trading route and put down a trading post. It shouldn't be the biggest in the end. And behind this, we've seen a defensive war hut. So war hut first. I believe Fard's aging with the chief, so should have enough wood to get a batch of Setons and also the wood for a trading post. But Fard's chopping a lot of wood here as well, so it looks like he's going to continue with this extra wood gathering, maybe an extra Sioux TP. I don't think a market here is probably the wisest decision. No coin in the bat already, but outpost moving forward for wookl, and it's already actually under construction, it looks like. Yes, it's already up to 700 HP. That is very close to the Sioux town centre. It looks like it's be as close as you can realistically get. Potential... Well, no. There's no wall in for Sioux. You can't wall at the choke point for the Sioux because the Sioux can't build walls. This is basically a free play for wookl for a very, very close outpost here, and try and dissuade the pressure away from the northern trading routes, which wookl wants to try and keep uncontested from his point of view. Once again, the Ottoman player going for a very fast FF at the moment, collecting the coin needs to age up, 700 coin. I think wookl's going to do the exact same strat which he lost to in game number 1, and Fard's going to have a tough time trying to defend this. Fard's aged up the chief. I'll have to see what his first shipment is going to be. It might be 700 woods here, but he's still chopping the wood. We could see a unit shipment actually instead. 7 war clubs. 7 war clubs as well as a batch of Setons trained from the war hut. Should be enough to knock down his outpost, and wookl will have to go back here. Setons moving forward, trying to get some pickup on these villagers. However, these villagers getting out of the way, and the Ottoman Explorer is tanking a lot of damage. I think this Sioux Explorer will just about live, but it's going to get picked off by the outpost, so an extra 100 XP for wookl here, and that XP is really what the Ottoman player really wanted out of this engagement. These units are a little bit slower now that the War Chief aura is gone. Trying to take down the barracks, but it's going to buy wookl more time. He may want to throw up another barracks in base, and that's what we exactly see here. wookl's cards in the third age: 8 Jans, 5 Spahis, 4 Mams, 9 Manchu as well. Not too sure Manchu will be a card coming out this game, but certainly the Falconet's available and the 1000 coin. Fard sends in 6 Seaton bows though, and it looks like the Sioux player really wants to put the pressure into the Ottoman player's base when he's in the third age. Hussars have come out as well. Hussars trying to scare away these Seaton bows, but yeah, lots of these war clubs, they're hand infantry, but they're not very good versus Janissaries at all, and especially when you get the Minutemen out as well at the same point. A batch of 8 Jans from this shipment, 5 Jans being trained, Minutemen, as well as these Hussars, if they still stay alive, should be enough to defend this pressure. Minutemen caught. All the Hussars are going down very cheaply for these from these war clubs though, and a couple of villagers getting involved in the fight. Again, Minutemen on their own, like strong units, but on their own, they get picked off very, very quickly. You need them within that 8 Jan batch. So there's the 8 Janissaries. We don't see any Janissaries being trained from the barracks. Another house has gone down, so wookl's now starting to run into population issues. And this has been a bit of an awkward defense from wookl. Still not out the, still not in a dire situation. Falconets can come out and spoil Fard's intentions here. 4 axes, nice shipment at this point. Axe Riders, quite fast. Nice hand attack though. Sioux Explorer is up as well, so decent speed bonus. And these guys can run in and pick off the Falconets if they do, if that's the next shipment. 5 Hussars next shipment, but there's still lots of war clubs here. 12 times by 4 versus Hussars. Another Hussar shipment, Hussar going down. Axe Riders now on top of the Janissaries to pin these guys down. Seaton's moving forward to pick off the heavy infantry, but these war clubs is exactly what you want versus the Hussar, and the entire Ottoman mass is gone at this point. The last soldier from the Ottoman army, the Minutemen, is doing his best, but eventually gets picked off. And now it's a full surround of Sioux units around this town centre. You can't send Falks here. You don't have the resources to send your Spahi, your Manchu, or your Mamelukes. And wookl has to tap out because he can't do anything at this point. And there's the GG. Fard's taking it 2-0 there for the SKGs. The SKGs are mounting a massive comeback here, guys. You've heard it here first. Not really much to say about this one. That forward outpost and barracks bought wookl time to get to the next age. However, the scout age up, those Hussars were wasted. Minutemen came out on their own, picked off very quickly by the Seaton bows. 8 Jans felt that they got onto the field quite late actually, and losing a bit of housing population didn't really help wookl moving forward. Not many units trained behind this. I think wookl was trying to get enough food for a Spahi batch. However, Spahi batch, when there's still these war clubs around, a couple of Axe Riders as well, certainly good units to trade off against from Fard's point of view, shall I say. Looked like wookl was kind of was in a difficult situation. Those 5 Hussars picked off very, very quickly, and I'm not too sure Fard lost many units himself actually, apart from residue units to the town centre. You can just see there's only a couple units here and there being picked off, and it felt like there was no engagement from wookl. There wasn't like, oh, this is the one fight underneath the town centre to see whether the Ottoman player can break off or not. We do see wookl going down from 13 pop all the way down to 4, and that there is due to the scout age up as well as the Minutemen possibly, or actually 5 to 13. Yeah, these are the Hussars and a few of the Janissaries getting picked off. Minutemen come in awkwardly later, about a minute after the actual age up came in, or 30 seconds afterwards, and then the Minutemen were not firing underneath Hussar snaring. They went down, and then the 5 Hussars came in afterwards, but went down even faster just due to how many war clubs there. And it just felt that wookl's defense was staggered and not in a coherent manner. All resources graph and villager count, not necessarily that impactful this game. We do note the Sioux player did not go for the 5 villager shipment, just going 7 war clubs, 6 Setons, 4 axe riders. The Sioux player was relatively all in at this point. He did have the market down, so did invest in his eco a little bit, and the Sioux TP here provides a nice eco boost behind this, so Fard had options afterwards if the push didn't work, but it was just enough to overcome his opponents. Let's have a look at the XP though. I think XP will give us a good clue what's happened here in terms of shipment progression. So we did the 3 vills, 700 coin, 700 wood, 8 Jan, 5 Hus. Another shipment came in for wookl, but he already lost these 2 shipments relatively freely, shall we say, against the Sioux army. So the XP lead from the Ottoman player, not necessarily that crucial in this game. We have, what is it? B1 is joining us. Why is B1 in the lobby? Let me check Discord. That was just game number 2. Yeah, I guess so. Let's try it. All right, B winner.
Yeah, hello.
How have you thought the first 2 games going?
Actually, I just arrived. I just saw the Ottomans versus Sioux one. Yeah, which is a tough matchup, but yeah, well played by the Sioux player. Rushing is a good option versus Ottomans, and it worked indeed.
And one thing we've seen recently was the Ottoman players. Most of these Ottoman games in the EPL2 so far have been fast fortresses, and I know that you're a bit of an Ottoman player yourself. What do you think of this kind of switch?
You mean playing Fortress with Ottomans? Well,
yes, going for the fast fortress governor 700 coin instead of going for map control and Jan Abus style.
Well, I've always been myself a very fast fortress style player as Ottomans. Like Tower FF is like my signatures with Ottomans, so it's what I do most of the time. Also, Sioux is an exception for me, and I wouldn't do that versus Sioux because the problem with Tower FF is that you can scout it very easily, and then Sioux can just FF themselves and then ship Wafer Riders, and it's very good versus Falks and Jans. So that's mostly what you do when you tower FF. So that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, if you're going Jaux fans, Jans and Falks, and not Jams and you know what I was trying to say. Rifle Riders is a very good unit to counter basically all that the Ottoman player wants to try and put out into the third age. Did you see the first game as well? That was another Ottoman game versus a German defensive opponent.
Oh, I missed it. Who won?
Fard was playing Ottoman and managed to pick up that game there. And I think what boiled down to was wookl was defending with war wagons, Black Riders and Skirmishers, but try to focus down the Mams a little bit too much, and then the 25-30 Jans from Fard just kind of just damage per second down all of the anti-cavalry, and then 5 Spahis came and cleaned up.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's a bit strange to me because usually when you tell me about that game, I would think that War Wagon is a good plan versus H3 Ottomans, and usually it works quite well because the thing is, War Wagon are obviously very good versus cavalry, so they kill the Mams and the spies, and they outrange the Janissaries, so that's usually quite good. So you would like to do Abbey guns versus them, but the problem is that Abbey guns are not as effective versus War Wagon as they are versus standard guns, because standard guns have a range resist. So you are happy with your Abbey guns to ignore it. And War Wagon don't have range resist, but melee resist. But to make up for that, they have a bit more HP, I think. So yeah, for Abyss guns, you don't care that they don't have range resist because you would ignore it anyway. So yeah, in the end, you struggle to kill the War Wagon. And War Wagon also have a bit more range than normal guns, so they are not too bad versus Abyss guns. So you struggle versus War Wagon usually as Germany overall, as Ottomans, my bad.
Yeah, certainly. Well, we're about to go into ESOC 2 Para for game number 3, and both players are clicking into a Russia and Dutch matchup. Fard picked first due to the Fard representing the SKGs. SKGs pick into game number 3, and wookl countering here with the Dutch. And on this map, what are you thinking of Dutch's options?
Well, this map, I personally find that there is a problem on it. It's that there is two possible spawn, either a line of 4 TP or 2 lines of 2 TPs. And it changes totally the matchup, because if you can take the line of 4 TPs, then it's really good for Russia. But okay, no, it's not the case. You have 2 lines of 2 TPs, so it's much better for Dutch, because then it's quite hard to take a big stagecoach for Russia here. So I guess Russia might have to go more aggressive, and I might prefer Dutch in this case, but I'm not sure. It's still not easy to hold the Russia army as Dutch. The problem for Dutch is that they don't have very good anti-cav in H2. They are forced to make pikemen, and if there is turrets, then the pikemen are not really good. So if there is turrets and Cossacks, you want to be H3 really, but Russia usually tries to prevent you from going H3.
Yeah, really good insight and analysis there. We do see Fard playing as the Russians spawning into the northwest. Wood crate start, so both players having 200 wood. Both civs not really being able to make the most of that extra wood crate in the first age. Maybe we see that extra wood helping their transition to the second age. wookl playing as the Dutch, spawning into the southeastern map, gathering lots of coin to help that villager production. Both explorers out on the map, trying to scout around, see what treasures are being found up, but I'm not too sure many treasures have been picked up so far. And yeah, it's just the 30-40 coin treasures in base for both players, and Fard is already in wookl's base. What's he planning to do down this far away from his town centre?
Yeah, strange. And by the way, there is something I find very funny on this map. I don't know if you notice. Here, these trees, they make no sense to me.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a few viewers gathering and thinking, well, I thought that was just was it map decor, like decorating the map, because it's quite sparse down here in terms of resources. But no, these actually are trees, and there's a few hunts nearby. But in this particular spawn of the map, where it's the 2 trading routes, there are a lot of coin mines to the south. So maybe a good way for the Dutch player to push out into the third age.
Yeah, I guess. But we will see. I think Russia might still want to go for a stagecoach. Maybe we will see. Also, I don't know the players very well, but I think Fard is a very aggressive player. So I wouldn't be surprised to see 5 Cossacks, 4 Cossacks, 13 Strelets, usual gameplay as Russia. You just send the units as they arrive in your opponent base and hope for the best.
Oh yeah, and the the 135 coin treasure picked up from Fard would certainly help his early game unit production of the Musketeers, and maybe 2 batches of Musketeers could be very, very cheap for Fard to push out. And although wookl has skirmishers to defend, if you can force your Dutch opponents to actually play defensive and get units out, you're already in a better position. And I think the Dutch player usually wants to open up with Hussars in this matchup. We do see wookl picking up a Cougar kit north side. Not a great Guardian or a treasure, just in general, but there's not really much else on the top side for him to pick up, and there's not many treasures on this map, really.
Yeah, but at the same time, it has a ×3 multiplier against Treasure Guardians. So let's see. We can see where he's going. And yeah, he's rallying to this treasure. So now he will take the Scott very easily with this Jaeger. And maybe later he can think about taking this one. Also, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he will try. Oh, okay.
We have the 3 villagers moving by, and as the Dutch, you could easily gather 150 coin here and put some pressure on, and it is delaying the blockhouse slightly. But I think now it's a little bit too late to react to that. But wookl is just going for the bank. That bank should be up nice and early, but and really help him his transition here. But it's really nice just to scout that blockhouse and getting some siege damage down on it already.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure how useful it will be, because the Jaeger is not damaging the villager. In fact, it has a time 0.1 multiplier against it. So yeah, I don't know. He could still have gone for this treasure, in my opinion. Rather, because now he's losing the Jaeger.
The way you pronounce it sounds like wookl's got a Jaeger in Age 1, and just imagine if actually a Jaeger was on the field for the Dutch player. That'd be so strong. Just a random Hessian Jaeger on the field, but
yeah, sorry. By the way, they told me that I might be a bit too loud. If you can,
I've already sorted it.
Oh, okay.
So we do see a bank already on the field for wookl. That would help that XP in queue. He does have a villager in queue as well, so it looks like wookl's town centre wasn't idled too long. Does have 2 settlers on the coin. Ideally needs 3 to ensure continuous villager production, but that second bank should be enough. But I'm worried about wookl's build here. He's going for the standard greedy build, and the next card here needs to be 700 wood, and that 700 wood will be enough for a military production building, a market, a house, and then maybe a bank as well if he wants to try and play a more boomy style. But remember, you're up against Russia, and Russia's quite good in terms of putting on pressure, and 13 strats his first shipment here.
Yeah, he queued 3 vills and shipped 13 strats immediately. So yeah, he wants to idle the Dutch player a lot, I guess. And the Dutch player decided to go for a second bank with the wood age instead of a military building. So he has no military building right now. He's trying to escape 2 vills, and he might want to drop a stable here or something like that, which is good.
Yeah, he needs to drop a stable, he needs to drop a market, he needs to drop 2 houses probably, and that should be enough. But Fard, look at this, he thinks that all the villagers are bailed up here, he's really happy. Even Colonial Militia coming in from wookl to help defend, and that does show to Fard kind of what wookl's kind of play style is, always thinking of going really defensive. I think the Strut's still happy to be idling Dutch this much, even though there's Colonial Militia. These are units very, very cheap individually, and okay, 1 shot coming in, but Fard is free to do what he wants to do behind this, going for a stable play and probably looking to send 700 wood or 700 coin the shipment afterwards.
Yeah, well, Colonial Militia is quite good versus Russia because you can one-shot both Strelets and Musketeers. So yeah, your TC is much more efficient. But yeah, as you said, if I was Russia, no, I will ship 700 wood, and it's good that he's making Cossacks because they tank more against the TC. Oh, also very good that he takes this treasure. And yeah, I will chip 700 wood and probably try to take one of the stagecoach to get the same eco like Dutch.
Yeah, certainly in that treasure, 250 food. Wow, that's a big treasure to pick up. 700 wood comes in afterwards. His Explorer is in this Strellet group. He does not want to lose this Explorer underneath the Town Centre fire, because that Town Centre fire can pick this off easily. A batch of Hussars as well, and there's no anti-cavalry support nearby. A couple of Cossacks coming across, but only 3 Cossacks. A batch of minutes here should be enough to take down the Cossacks and maybe the Strelets as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to commit into that, because with a good kiting, the Minuteman will be a bit late. But yeah, at least Russia can't really engage under the TC, no? That's quite good.
600 wood coming in from wookl instead of using the bank or wagon shipment at this point, but he does have lots of food. Essentially, the bank wagon feels that nice progression instead of that CM, but at this point, maybe wookl has enough food already in the bank to go for that 4th bank, and that's what we see now. And extra wood for a couple of houses, maybe a market tech. We do see greatcoats coming in, maybe space for hunting dogs and placer mines to come in at a later point. I'm not too sure wookl wants to go for a barracks at this point and wants to try and focus on getting to the 3rd age as well, but certainly spends an extra time and resources in the 2nd age to try and defend from what Fard wants to do here. 3 Cossack raids to the south. Not too sure he'll get anything here though, due to those greatcoats.
Let's see. No, yeah, nice defense. But I'm a bit concerned about wookl's herding. It's not the greatest, because he didn't try to herd neither this end nor this one, so no, he is almost out of hands. Also, he killed a lot of animals when herding the first one, so yeah, it's running out already. Oh, nice engagement for Russia.
Yeah, baiting all those Hussars out of the field, and when you just train more and more Cossacks, these guys can just pin the Hussars down, let Strelets do quite a bit of range damage here, and there's lots of units here. I think wookl needs to at least call the small batch units just to try and defend, because Fard is just basically going to be moving straight underneath this town centre, and yes, you have a CM town centre. When you have this many units though, it feels like this colonial militia town centre, it doesn't actually do too much. And even the bank wagon coming in here.
Oh, that's greedy. Yeah, so he will have literally no army after that Dutch player. Oh, whoa. So more Russians. In fact, he might be fine. Just fight that.
Yeah, I think maybe Fard was not expecting wookl to be training like 15, 20 Hussars in the 2nd age. And wookl has another shipment here. Could go 700 food to try and get the age up in queue. Could also just go 8 pikes just to try and stabilize some of his Cossacks and maybe push out onto the blockhouses. But Fard sending that 700 wood. He hasn't gone for that trading post play like you were suggesting. Do you think that's a bit of a misplay here from Fard now?
I don't know. He had a nice timing, but I'm not so sure about this blockhouse, which is very far from the first one, and is not really controlling so well the map. I think it's a bit strange, but his timing was quite good. It was a bit scary, and now he has boyards, yeah, that's how it's called, and he's going for a raid here, but it might be dangerous. Oh, but yeah, he had the native Scots, but let's see if he gets caught or not, because yeah, if he loses all these Cossacks, that would be big.
Right, another bunch of villagers surviving due to their greatcoats. This guy only having 11 HP remaining. This Vil 58 HP remaining. Would have still survived, but greatcoats paying off greatly here for wookl, pardon the pun, and 3 Hussars next shipment here. 3 Hussars moving topside to try and trap these Cossacks, but lots of Hussars here as well to try and trade. This could be a good time to go for Minutemen here from wookl. It looks like Fard is trying to commit at this point.
Yeah, I think it would be very good for Dutch if he calls some Minutemen. Even without Minutemen, he might be cleaning up. Oh, okay, the Minutemen are here, because there was some Musketeers that's quite efficient. Yeah, he will definitely be in a good spot after that. And let's see. So, yeah, probably you try to age up then as Dutch. Or you ship 8 pikes and go in, but yeah, age up seems more reasonable, because if Russia just train Musketeers and you don't have a barrack for skirmisher, you are not gonna kill the blockhouses. So yeah, I guess you try to age up. Oh, but he's making more Hussars. I don't really like that.
A full batch of 5 Hussars there and no shipment in queue. That was a good fight, so lots of XP coming in there. I actually think we may see an 8 pike shipment coming in here from wookl. Looking at his population, he does have, what is it, 82 pop. No, I can't say actually how much pop it is, but Hussar's getting caught right side, and that was his opportunity to really push his agenda, but he has scouted a dead hunt left side, so possible big raid here at the expense of his Hussar mass on the right side.
Yeah, but that's not really what you want. I think as that you don't want to trade your army for villagers. Yeah, because he lost really many hussars here, like maybe 6 or 7. So even if he kills 6 vills or something like that, I wouldn't take this trade, because the problem is he's running out of food. Look at this. No, not here, but here. Okay, I can't click, but yeah, he's going here, but it's quite exposed. And I don't know if he will be able to protect it, know that he lost some army.
Yeah, so wookl is under pressure now going to the next stage, but he should be able to have enough coin income to buy some food if need be. Lawyer's village is getting pathed out by the Cossacks, so it could be a nice pickup from Fard, but we should have enough coin in the bank to go for a batch of Reuters, and maybe the larger batch of CM if Fard really puts in the pressure. You can see how he sits underneath his town centre. A bit of a risky place to sit, especially with these town centres doing great damage versus these musketeers due to that CM, but only having 8 villas in the town centre. Lots of Cossacks nearby though, and lots of these Dutch villagers out on the map unprotected. This could be a nice play from Fard at this point, and he's pushing out on that Dutch eco like you were talking about.
Oh yeah, so I think he will find them, and yeah, that's big. Let's see if maybe wookl can buy time with his hussars and then have a 9 Waters shipment coming in time, but I doubt it will be the case. I think he will lose a lot of villagers here. And yeah, that will be GG if he loses like 10 vills or more.
Yeah, more reinforced musketeers. These Cossacks with the Boyos upgrade, remember, these are essentially veteran Cossack stats taking down colonial hussars, protecting these villagers. These villagers will be out in the open, unguarded, no outposts nearby to gather, and lots of villagers going down, trying to evacuate some villagers to the west-hand side, but being scouted by this Cossack. Luckily, we do see some Reuters out in the field to defend. 9 Reuters next shipment as well. I think wookl's way to try and come back in is go for a large Reuter mass, because they outrange essentially everything which the Russian player can try and mass out themselves. Okay, it doesn't outrange the Strelets.
Oh, and he's losing also more vills here, but he will probably kill the army for the exchange. But Russia in the back, he shipped the hunting upgrade. How is it called?
Spice trade.
I don't know. Space trade, yeah, exactly. So he has a good economy, no? He's like 8 vills ahead, and 9 vills ahead now, and has this upgrade. Plus, yeah, he has more market upgrade as well, because Dutch has only hunting dog, while Russia has like everything you can get. So yeah, Russia is quite ahead in economy, and we also know that Russian units cost less than other units. So when it's in this kind of position, Russia will mass really a lot. Plus, Dutch has not totally solved its problem.
Look at this Russian hunting operation right under the town centre of wookl. That is a non-standard move if I've ever seen some. These musketeers about to get cleaned up by the Reuters, but these Reuters moving away just allow these more raiding units topside. Very nice play though from wookl, keeping a couple of these Reuters stationary. But you can see how the Dutch army is spread out trying to defend Russia, pushing multiple angles here. Actually, can wookl pick off his villagers? I know he's moving right side to try and defend, but finally, Strelets coming out from Fard. wookl will need to do something different if he wants to try and take on these Strelets.
Yeah, but that will be a challenge. Maybe. So what will he choose? He has 2 stables, so he could go for maybe a foundry and some falks. That's an option, especially since he's a bit low on food, but he still has 2 mine in base, so you could retreat all your vills close to your GC and then produce some falks. With this large rotor mass, it will be good.
This is where the action's at, though. We do have wookl closing down those Strelets, and we do have about 5 Hussars here, and 5 Hussars is enough hand cavalry here just to try and snare and tank the shots from the Strelets. And these Strelets are just falling over very, very quickly due to all this range damage that the Reuters are provided here. And this is a really nice pickup from wookl. Raid on the right side, though. How many villagers went down there?
Oh, I think it was only 2 of them remaining, but at the same time, did you realize that Fard is going H3? He's almost...
Wookl's lost 24 villagers behind this, and actually, if you take off the recalc population, he's only got 13 vills remaining. I know that who's raided a lot down to the south side. Top side raids may have picked off even more vills, but majority of Wookl's eco now is the banks and not actually the villagers. So, good raids in here from Fard. He did lose his entire military mass, but should be able to remass off of this. More Hussars raid left side, and quite a lot of these villagers from Fard really out on the map, and should be nice pickup here from Fard.
Oh, but very nice pickup also from wookl here.
Oh yeah, wookl I meant. That's yeah I meant.
Oh yeah. And suddenly, I think it's looking not bad for wookl, rather good in fact, because he will equalize the eco and still has the military lead. So maybe it was a bad decision from Fard to age up, and he's now under quite some trouble. Also, this toilet's coming in, maybe that's enough to stabilize, we will see.
Yeah, not too many normal Hussars here. There still are the Colonial with no Cav combat upgrade, and it's just pure Rotors here. 4 Hussars down to the south, but actually 4 Hussars again, it's just enough to deal with these Strelets. These Strelets very, very weak to cavalry, and lots of these villagers going down. Taking a quick look at units lost, 15 vills now down for Fard. He previously was only lost about 5 or 6, so about 10 vills going down to this raid, and I'm not too sure Fard can actually remass an army which can actually take on what wookl has on the field already at this moment.
Yeah, and there is also 15 vills in this blockhouse, so if you can't defend it, yeah, I think it's game over. And yeah, that was quite unexpected, because I thought Russia was really in a good spot. Oh, also, Judge is not... Okay, GG.
What a funny game that was. And
yeah.
wookl picking up his first win here, which is always nice to see. And you just at the end of that, Dutch's primary eco source was the banks, and the banks produced coin, and Reuters costing majority of coin here, 75 coin, only 30 food. You don't need a food eco at this point. You can just spam pure Reuters, double stable. You don't need too much wood because you're trading off units continuously. wookl was just a Reuter pumping machine here.
Exactly, yeah, 2 stables on nothing else. But that was really fun to watch. That was so active, there was action everywhere all the time. Maybe Fard played it too much like a team player. I think he plays mostly teams nowadays, so yeah, he just spreads his unit and aged up a bit greedy, and then he wasn't able to kill the unit mass of Dutch. But that was really interesting. I liked it.
wookl's villager line is brutal. He aged up to the 3rd age, and at that point there was I believe there was an engagement underneath his town centre with the Minutemen. That was slightly before, but when wookl gets to the 3rd age, he doesn't have that Reuter ability at that moment. He's still about to train those Reuters and start getting out in the field. I think that's when we did see a nice catch on those Hussars. Fard just raids in top side, bottom side continuously. But once those Reuters have started to get out in the field, you can just see how wookl's military population just slowly increases, taking good trades versus colonial musketeers and Cossacks, and eventually you see wookl with the population of about 43 military population versus what Fard had while he was aging, and that was that massive Strelet catch underneath that blockhouse. Those 5 Hussars tanking, doing some good damage, lots of Reuters engaging as well. Those Strelets fell over, and then yeah, once Fard got to the 3rd age, it was 42 population versus 0. 19 Strelet shipment came in to reinforce, but actually it felt that wookl had enough units on the map at that one point, focusing down Fard's eco, that Fard was unable to get a military mass to contest at that point. But losing 25 vills from wookl, that was a close game in the end.
Yeah, it was interesting to see. The meta is nowadays to often go H3 at some point with any civilization, but in this game we saw that it's not so easy to do because both players got punished quite hard when they tried to age up, and it even probably cost the game to Fard. So yeah, that was interesting to see that.
Yeah, you can just see how wookl's coin income is just consistent, and looks like actually when it gets to the 3rd age, didn't mine any coin afterwards, and just continuous gathering from the 5 banks there. And Okay, only had about 5 vills gathering coin. He still had both his in-base coin mines still going on, so it wasn't like wookl was ever short of that coin, but had to push out really far for those hunts. And just that continuous eco, which cannot be idled from the Dutch player, really saving wookl here in this game.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, they are already in game asking for next map will be Wadmalo.
Wadmalau, yeah. Semi-water, semi-land. We did see yesterday a water play coming out from a Portuguese player, so water has the opportunity. And the interesting thing about this map in particular, if you're playing water, is because there's so much water around the outside of the landmass area, there are 7 whales up for grabs, and if one player can basically control the entire sea, they would have a huge coin income from those whales.
Yeah. I think there is something like 11 or something like that. I don't. What did you say? Sorry, did you say 11 already? I don't know. But yeah,
7 whales on the outside of Wadmalau's sea.
Oh no, I think there is more than 7 because there is 3 on each side, and I think there is 3 or 4 on each side and 4 in the middle or something like that. Yeah, that's insane in any case if you get all of them.
There's definitely not 11 whales. That would be kind of Hispaniola type level, or like Saguenay and team. No, it's
Okay, yeah, maybe not 11.
And
but that's definitely enough to get an insane eco for sure.
Yeah, I was briefly doing a little bit of math on it. Just not too much, but even if you had 4 whales and you had ships to cars, rendering plants, whale oil, and had research gill nets and long lines, so essentially 4 upgrades for your fishing boats, 16 fishing boats on the whales, that's about like 6.25 banks, I believe. And when you kind of rephrase fishing boats in terms of eco representative of other stuff, like how many people gathering berries, how many people hunting, how many people mining, or how many banks, you can kind of easily quantify how much like eco that was. And in the last game with this Portuguese player, we saw the Portuguese player just continuously produce organ guns into Japan, and if you lost the organ guns, that's not a biggie. Just train some more with this massive coin eco, and I think essentially the Japan player just fell behind the eco and just couldn't keep up with the military production, just fell behind and had to resign. So water play is still viable in this map.
Yeah, this kinesis style. But at the same time, there is also a free TP stagecoach line, and often when one player goes for the waters, the other can just grab the TP. And the thing is, it's faster to boom with the TP, even though it's less eco in the end. So yeah, sometimes you get punished for going water by this thing. But so yeah, it's a bit risky. Also, the map has changed a bit because before there was some natural walls with these cliffs, and it has been removed. So now it's a bit harder to defend, I would say, or at least harder to wall.
Yeah, certainly, and even in other games as well. Even Fard going for the Portuguese again, maybe taking inspiration from yesterday's Portuguese victory, and wookl going for Japan. This is going to be a mirror matchup of what we saw last time. I will take a brief break because this may be a long game.
Yeah, feel free to do it. Yeah, I didn't see the game of yesterday. I guess it was Jerry Muno who played. I don't. Yeah, versus Migo, but I don't know. I didn't see the game, so I don't know who won for Portuguese and Japan. Yeah, I would guess Migo was Portuguese because I don't see. Yeah, it would fit more with the play style. But in this matchup, I don't really know it. I don't play neither of these civs. But yeah, I think it's good to go water always with Portuguese, but at the same time, the Japanese warships are also quite strong. I don't know if he will try to. They could both go for sea. I know that Kinesi is going on water with both of these civs. That's his 2 main civ to play water. Also, nowadays, he doesn't really use Japan on water, but I think it's rather because he wants to use it on land, because he's also really good on land with them. Yeah, I'm talking a lot about Kinesi because he's like the reference player for playing water. Oh, by the way, I can count the whales on the minimap now. And it appears that Harrison was right, and I was saying bullshit, because there is indeed 7 whales. But there is also a lot of food fish, so you can really produce a lot of fishing boats. And yeah, it might be a bit challenging to control all the water though, because the enemy TC protects you a bit, and there is 2 islands, so yeah, let's see.
We have seen players dropping docks on the opposing players' mini islands, and seen some very funny kind of, oh, where are these fishing boats being spawned onto? Oh, these fishing boats are right underneath the opposing player's town centre. There's sometimes action all across the sea. However, in terms of the land battle here, I think Fard will have to play slight defensive. I would have a quick sneak into Fard's home city and see what decks he has. Very, very quick peek. And he has obviously lots of war chiefs and Nilla civs. Going for his Tad civs, he has a Rush Team Water with lots of team cards there. Interesting deck there. 1v1 Water, Tad, Schooners, no rendering plants. He's got so many, it's take a while to look through all of them. I trust that Fard knows exactly which deck he wants to pick.
Yeah, but there is very high chances he goes for water when you play Portuguese and has water deck and play this map specifically. So yeah, I really expect to see that. And by the way, he was talking about the island, and personally, when I decide to go for water on this map, I always place my dock on the island, because you start with a canoe, so you can just transport your villagers here and place the dock here, so that it's harder for the enemy to scout it. That's one feature of this map, that you start with the canoe, and yeah, it's useful to do that. It's a food start.
Yeah, I was just having to check something for the AI. No, my UI. Yeah, so wookl is playing as Japanese civs spawning into the north of the map, as playing Japan in the colour red. Did say a food start from UB, when a good spot there. His opponent, Fard, spawning to the south side of the map, playing as the Portuguese. Currently leading 2-1 up, but did lose the last game versus wookl's Dutch, so looking to try and revenge what wookl had to play here and take the game 3-1. We did see that this was a Mandarin Duck Squad pick first, and wookl chose to go for the Japan civilization straight away, and Fard counting here the Portuguese. Maybe Fard has got some sort of plan cooked up on this map. We could see some water play. Do you think the Portuguese has any chance in this matchup if he went pure land?
Well, to be honest, I have no clue, because I don't play neither Portuguese nor Japan. So I really don't know who wins on land. No idea. Yeah, do you know?
Maybe, I'm just suspecting that maybe if Fard gets a town centre in the middle of the trading route, gets 3 TPs, barracks, and maybe go for like a kind of a fast crossbow musketeer mass to try and get map control, possibly. But I think we may see some water play coming out from Fard.
Yeah, and apparently there is some lag. I don't know how much of an issue it is. Oh, there is this treasure contention, but Fard got it. What was it? 70.
Yeah, 70 wood coming in there. He did scout that 70 food nearby as well. He started to try and work onto it, maybe taking down one of the wolves. But a black bear and a wolf guarding 70 food. Looks like Fard is coming back to try and pick that up as well. Both players fishing with their canoe straight away instead of scouting or working on extra treasures. Just imagine if Fard's canoe was working on this nice big wood treasure here. Has his computer can worth 100 wood.
Yeah, this is this old joke for Wikikipu. And they are both waiting for this treasure. I don't know if they know whether that the other explorer is here. Or it seems Fard is trying to get it. Let's see if wookl notices in time.
I think Fard would be fine because he has a crack shot, because he wouldn't start it without it. Crack shot comes in, but who's going to pick it up first? Maybe actually wookl sneaking in there, actually. Oh, no, but Fard does pick it up first, though.
Yeah, And one thing on this map is that you, even if wookl was snaring, you can't really lose your explorer like that, because you can just bring the canoe here, and then you escape easily with your explorer.
So Fard has picked his deck. He does have Schooner's Whale Oil, but he does not have the Fish Market or Rendering Plant, which is a bit of a weird decision in my eyes. He does have both 5 Organ Guns and 2 Heavy Cannons. I feel like you can at least sacrifice one of these shipments to get the Fish Eco upgrade, because if you're going water play, it sounds like that's where the predominance of your eco is, and I think Rendering Plant is just too good of a shipment here to not include in your deck.
Yeah, that's maybe true. It's a bit strange because if you take, like, sometimes you can't take all the fishing upgrades because you want defensive options, but when you replace them by H4 cards, it's a bit strange because it means you want to go H4, so you are not really in need for defensive options. And by the way, he already got the wood market upgrade, and it means he will definitely go really early for some fishing, I expect, but he didn't ship anything in age 1, no schooners. I don't know what.
Maybe Fard was just trying to scout out what wookl was doing and trying to react to what the Japan player, and basically see, can you get away with it or not? To drop in a town centre on the far right of the map, trying to lock down that sea, and that's a really nice Japan town centre lockdown. Also see a barracks coming down that mid-map as well, so trying to kind of lock down this area, but not playing really defensive walling style. Looks like trying to play for a little bit of map and buy enough time to go for some sort of sea economy. First shipment here, 700 wood. No dock yet, though.
Yeah, so apparently it was a mind game and he's not going for water, but I'm a bit concerned about his villager. Will it survive? The native?
Well, the barracks will get up first, so that's the kind of the sigh of relief for Fard. There's nothing worse than having your barracks being denied by a vill getting picked off by a native unit. Now voting this, wookl's still in the first stage, so it only has that 0.5 multiplier versus the villager, so that villager was safe enough to get that barracks up. First shipment, second shipment from Fard, 8 crossbows. So forward barracks, forward town centre. Like a good call there. The mind games. Fard is selecting a water deck for options later on, but actually in the meantime, he's pushing in with 8 crossbows and probably training units behind us. But actually, 2 docks being dropped down from Fard, 1 pikeman in queue to try and get a bit of map control of the shrines. These crossbows are trying to sneak and get some damage done, trying to dissuade from what wookl's doing, but only 8 villagers. I don't think these 8 crossbows can actually one-shot, but never mind. Reinforcing batch of another 5 crossbows. These crossbows are enough to one-shot a villa at this point.
Yeah, so Fard's plan seems to not committing to anything, and both playing water and aggression at the same time because he has 2 docks, but no schooners, and you can do that on EP, but I don't know. I like a lot to go schooners when I'm gonna make a lot of fishing ships because it makes them both cheaper and training faster, so that's a lot of resources that you save. But we will see. That's quite hard to defend against this kind of play because you don't really know what the opponent is playing because he's both aggressing you and booming at the same time, so you need to find the good compromise to defend against that, and we will see. But so far, Japan has twice the eco. So and schooners going in, no.
Yeah, schooners arriving now. Fard's eco is looking very poor at the moment, and he did send that 8 crossbows, trained batch of 5 crossbows as well, and pushed in. But wookl didn't lose a villager here. He sent 4 vills afterwards, trained a few Yumis, but was basically untouched, unreally kind of hurt by that, and is happily carrying on with his own shipment progression. Going for 4 vills a second time. wookl's eco is very strong at the moment.
Yeah, also Fard has 2 TC and 2 docks with schooners, so it's like he's making vills really quickly, and in 2 minutes he will have the same eco like wookl if nothing happens. So we will see what wookl decides to do with this kind of window where he's gathering faster, and also Fard is investing all his resources into economy, into making vills and fishing boats, I mean. So wookl will produce more army.
wookl even completing the Portuguese fishing fleet about 2 minutes ago to get even more fishing boats on the water, starting to get the market down and market techs flowing through first tier food, now the second tier food coming in. But these crossbows again trying to push something in, but we'll see these Yumi archers and we'll have to back out very quickly. And yeah, if Fard is having to invest all his resources just to try and catch up in wookl's eco, wookl can just at this point continue to train villagers, but I think wookl may age up at some point soon. He could continue training units, but actually when you have such a strong eco behind this and a really greedy build, I think age 3 play is very tempting here for the Japan player.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Also, his resource distribution is not so close from an age up right now, but we will see. Oh, he's dropping a stable. One thing I would like to mention is that I don't really like the building placement of wookl, because this stable and this barrack that he has, they are both near water, and if at some point Portuguese starts to invest into warships, he could just kill them with the warships, maybe.
Yeah, certainly, and Fard in his deck, he does have the 2 caravels, 1 frigate, and if his plan is to revolve around the water play, then you will need warships to kind of defend and push off Japan's fishing operations as well, and that'd be a nice pickup from that stable. In the early game, though, I think that stable is far enough behind his front line to kind of hide that he's going for a stable, and even massing Nagi's off that 600 coin crate, so scrap what I said about going to the Fortress Age. Looks like wookl wants to get a nice massive Ashigaris and Naginatas to try and push into Fard's base. Fard now dropping a long wall outside of his town centre range, and actually there's a few holes in it left, right and centre. Bit worried about this from Fard.
I don't know how he managed to make this hole here. That's really strange. Just random hole in the middle of the wall.
He's right next to this 100 wood treasure, and it's just a really nice treasure to pick up. And I'm a little bit curious how it's not been picked up by Fard just yet. It's a 300 wood, and that can build you another 2 fishing boats due to your schooners card coming in. So it certainly has some sort of materialistic value towards your economy.
Yeah, that's true. Also, it's not so easy to pick up. That's 3 walls on 1 coyote.
Oh my god, look at this. 5 Naginatas nearby this crossbow mass. Pikemen's are sieging down, and this could be actually a really nice pickup from wookl. There's only 5 Naginatas here, but certainly should be able to pick up nice 10 crossbows before losing to this crossbow mass. And these crossbows are just walking away. They're not trying to trade off here. Running towards the town centre. Minutemen not being able to be afforded because he's just queued up that age up to age 3.
Yeah, that's a perfect timing from wookl, because he's like going in right when Fard is clicking up, so, and also sending the fishing upgrade, so it means Fard will have really an hard time to defend. And yeah, I expect wookl to do a lot of damages here. Also, maybe Fard can just, I don't know, sack the TC and the barrack and everything, and just rely on water eco to win the game. But yeah, we'll see. I think it will be good for wookl.
He's pushing in with lots of Yumi archers and Ashigaras. A few Naginatas still standing. We may see another reinforcing Nagibatch pushing in, but now wookl is aging up at this point. Fard is aging up, but sending whale oil before rendering plant, and your rendering plant is only 5% less coin gather rate than whale oil, but there's no food benefit from sending the whale oil. I'm really disliking this card progression from Fard.
It's okay, but he has only the oil upgrade. He doesn't have the other one in deck, so that's why.
Well, yeah, that goes back to where he's discussing that deck and not including rendering plant over 5 organs or even something like 700 food, or I suppose every other card here has its place. The Treaty of Tordesilhas, the Advanced Church in Portuguese, could be seeing some bestieras later on, but still, rendering plant feels like it's a very key card in this playstyle.
Yeah, and in fact, I think Fard is in a quite good spot eventually, because wookl did not that much damages as I was expecting him to do with this army. He just went back and aged up himself, but yeah, let's see. Maybe he wants to wait for some flaming arrows. He also built a castle here, so maybe he wants flaming arrows to siege down this TC.
Yeah, and Fard's eco is catching up fast. It's now relatively even, and although these boats don't have rendering plant, they still have the fish, the whale oil. They do have gill nets as well, so that's plus 15%. A nice strong upgrade for the fishing boats. I'm sure long lines will be researched very, very soon, but these fishing boats not going to be idled very much. Doesn't look like wookl is playing any water play at the moment to try and defend. Even have a quick look at wookl's deck. 2 Atakabunes, but no kind of frigate-style ship.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't need, because with this age up, or I think it was with the age up, or maybe he trained it was because I think he aged up fast. So anyway, he trained Vels, and just with this warship, he can take down all the fishing boats, which is 6 of them plus a canoe, and maybe make some pressure on the stable, on the barrack, as we said earlier. Oh, also there was a big fight, whoa.
Yeah, we have 2 Orkan guns popping up underneath a double batch of Minutemen from these 2 town centres. 5 pikemen to snare this army, but those Orkan guns getting a good volley off onto these Yuumi archers, and that mass from what wookl was using has kind of gone down, and he needed that mass to protect really from these flaming arrows. We do see a wookl himself going for a caravel, and petards as well. This is a consulate tech, I believe, from the Portuguese.
Did you see? He initially almost won for the petard attacking the Vels, but then he changed his mind and attacked the TC with them. But yeah, apparently at some point he wanted to switch the Vels with the petards. I had never seen that before.
Yeah, so wookl taking down 1 town centre, but doesn't matter for Fard. He still has another 2 town centres. He's playing the Portuguese, and it will take a while for him to break what Fard's got here, but 11 villagers in this town centre should be able to pick off quite a few of these disciplined Ashy Garus. wookl, though, sending 7 villagers twice behind this.
Oh yeah, and here is on 78 economic population, which is quite insane, and a lot more than Portuguese, in fact.
Yeah, and these villagers having a really strong amount of EK upgrades, even Imperial Bureaucracy. Age up Yuumi Archers a bit AFK from the fight at the moment, but these Flaming Arrows actually picking off these Dragoons quite well, and these Dragoons didn't really accomplish too much there at that point.
Yeah, he really needs to do something. He doesn't want to lose this TC, I think, because then he has no way to catch up in eco.
1 Flaming Arrow going down from the town centre fire, but this town centre is now only on 2000 HP, and this town centre is crucial for trying to defend his fishing operations on the right hand side of the map. He's currently only gathering from 2 whales at this point, and I feel that you need to focus the gathering on the whales so that the fish last a little bit longer. Man pop from the town centre. Minutemen already gone, but Ashy Garus is starting to go into hand combat versus these Mamelukes, and these Mamelukes are starting to lose HP quite fast, but should be enough to survive, pick up the Flaming Arrows, and Dragoon's going to pick up the Ashy Garus behind, so really nice shipment pop there from Fard.
Yeah, also he's not focusing the Flaming Arrow. Well, the TC is on... Oh, final shot going down for the TC. It was 9 HP, but with 1 final shot it got done, so... Yeah, quite good pick, but yeah, for that, the Japanese guy will lose all his army. Oh, he's sending another Flaming Arrow. That's a bit of a mistake.
wookl has 60 vills. There's a second town centre as well on the coastline, so hoping to defend from any water play, which Fard wants to do as well. So these fishing boats from wookl are relatively safe from this 1 caravel and town centre. Fishing boats starting to move across the map. I think it's starting to move on to this middle whale as well, but again, this safe whale on Fard's side not being gathered, and this is infinite. Ninjas being shipped by wookl. Get the A's hype in the chat. Like 10 ninjas in a tournament game, not what you normally expect.
Is he from the Nila's Ninja team?
Yes. Are those Mams still alive? We still have 1 Mameluke alive, and these ninjas will destroy this 1 Mameluke. So I think this is a reactionary shipment for what Fard has in deck, but looks like managing to back out there before the ninjas connect.
But will he get the town center? No, at least the town center will be up in time, but still, yeah, I think it's really good position for Japan. Now, if you look at the stats, the economy and the military population, both of them.
Right, Ninja coming in to assassinate this Mameluke. That Mameluke goes down. Ninja's having a very strong siege attack. 60 siege per unit, which is certainly very strong. Much stronger than the Ashies and the Yuumis. So these units can defend the flaming arrows and lets the ninjas and the flaming arrows deal with this town center. This town center is going down very, very fast for Fard. It even gets in a batch of bestieros when the Portuguese constant to reinforce, and Ashi's reinforcing too.
Yeah, I don't see any comeback for Portuguese. Also, we didn't mention, but at some point the Portuguese player lost his caravel, so the water has no protection now for him. And as Japanese has built a dock, he will probably go for the water eco now. I mean, to kill the Portuguese water eco next. And yeah, I don't see Portuguese defending all of that.
I think Portuguese is still... It's not the worst position. He does have the berry bushes in base to gather from. Still has 2 coin mines. Pretty low in coin though. About 1,500 each. Oh wow, the 2 Atakabunes coming out from Japan player and starting to push the sea. And Fard, he can't defend both the sea and the land at one time. He's going to have to pick one or the other because he's outmassed on the sea and currently outmassed on the water. But that could be changing from Fard's point of view if he ships the frigate.
Yeah, also he is losing his army on land now because he trained some cannons, but it was I don't know. He just lost to the flaming arrows because he had no cooler guns. So yeah, now he's losing the guns to the infantry, and yeah, that's probably close to GG to my ace. Yeah.
Let's get the ninja hype in the chat, guys. These ninjas very, very effective this game, and helping take down the Mamluk, the town centre, and then snaring these dragoons and organ guns. Really nice push in from wookl there, and wookl going 4-vil, 4-vil. 600 coin, 600 coin. 7-vil, 7-vil. He likes a few shipments multiple times, and Fard just... He had that water eco, but it felt that he was just slightly too slow, and the Japan player was already pushing through his forward town centres before he had that nice mass. And only getting out a batch of organ guns and dragoons really about after like the kind of 15-minute mark. Even going for dragoon combat, but you know, when you have so many of these Ashigarus, flaming arrows, and Yumis pushing into your base, it just felt slightly slow there from Fard.
Yeah, he was like a bit constantly behind because yeah, from the start it was a bit strange. I think not going straight for the water boom, but for initial crossbowman attack, and it slowed him down quite a lot because he didn't achieve that much with the initial 8+5 crossbowmen. And yeah, then he was just much behind in eco the entire game, and as a result, Japan also had a military advantage quickly. Also, Japan had a nice timing when Fard tried to age up. So yeah, in the end, yeah, it felt just good for Japan the entire game.
An interesting thing as well for Fard is that at this point, all the hunts have just gone. He's only got berries in his bush, but all the fish are gone as well. He's only got about 600 fish resources remaining on the sea before he's completely out of food income from the water. He still has full control over those 4 whales, but only just gathering from the full whales in the last couple of minutes or so. But wookl's 2 Atakabunes on the water, stopping any more fishing on Japan's side of the map. And yeah, it looks like Fard just kind of ran out of steam at the wrong time, lost his army at the wrong time. Maybe a bit too greedy with his map control with that really long wall and 2 forward town centres early on. Maybe he could have played a little bit more defensive, defends this giant salamander hunt. Could have been in the game for a little longer then.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So yeah, I was asking the player also about the lag now, but yeah, it seems they don't want to do lag tests, they just want to play.
Yeah, it didn't look unbearable. A few spikes here and there, naturally, when you have 4 players, and especially one from China as well. But let's say I've seen worse, and it's same for both players as well. So I don't think it's going to be too critical, and it's not exactly the final match of the championship, shall I say? And it's currently a 2-all as well between Fard and wookl, and Fard put in a good performance the first 2 games and still played well, but wookl's coming back, and maybe wookl can go for the 3-2 win.
Yeah, yeah, like both of them are going for that, I guess. But nice comeback from wookl, that's true.
If you're still in game, the all resource gathered is not pretty. It's so in favor for the Japan civilization that, yeah, that's pretty bad to look if you're trying to go for a full water boom as a Portuguese, still being outgathered by what Japan was doing, and the military population, wow, just exploded on that ninja pop shipment, and then just continuously producing more Ashes, Yumis, flaming arrows, and just there was never really an army for Fard to defend.
Yeah, he was constantly behind. I agree. I am not in the game anymore, but yeah. Okay, yeah. So the last map will be Iowa, by the way. That's an interesting one, totally different from what we have seen. I like that there is a lot of diversity in the new ESOC map.
Oh, wrong lobby again. I'm on the Go Mandarin Duck Squad lobby, cheering for wookl, who's currently 2-all against Fard, so I think they'll be happy in the chat there. It's the SKG to pick, so Fard to pick into game 5.
Okay. So yeah, that's Fard. Do you know what if he might play here?
I think Fard will go for the Ottomans here. He did win Ottomans into game 1, and he's a very vanilla player. He's played Ottomans. He won with the Sioux, and he's going British. And I'm not feeling the British pick on this map, to be honest. The hunts are very far out. This isn't what you'd call a high resource map, and even the tin mines, 1,500 coin in each mine, will have to push out.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by this pick of British. It's really not expect that. Yeah, so they are asking because wookl said he sees Fard yellow on me yellow green, sorry. And Fard is seeing wookl yellow, and I'm seeing wookl yellow green as well.
Yeah, at the moment it's yellow green, but when I entered the lobby it was green for quite a while, so it kind of varies. It should be fine.
Yeah, I guess it's just wookl having a bit of lag, because he said he's using a VPN also, and he's from China, so he has a bit of lag, but whatever, I guess. Let's just play with that.
Yeah, I would rather take games with a little bit of lag and then having players from the Chinese community as well, and other countries, than just having Euro and North America. It gets a bit lonely sometimes. I wonder how many players are still around from the South America countries. Kickass has been playing a few games recently, and hopefully he comes back to play some more tournaments. He was actually racking up some good PR behind him, was actually getting pretty skillful.
Oh, okay. I didn't see him for a long time now, but yeah, I liked him. There was him, Luke Tom, and...
Oh, no. Cancel that. wookl cannot play the Japan.
Oh. Oh yeah, he just played them. Hopefully unitized. But yeah, anyway, that's the same like Brits. I don't know why they would go for Japan and Brit here. That's strange picks. Usually we see more things like, as you say, the Ottomans or Aztec or I don't know, or Spain, or this kind of thieves that like to take the TPs here, because the TP line is quite good.
I mean, it's a horizontal trading post line. There's 3 TPs, and you're always looking for maps with a high TP count, but with a 3 TP map, it's only 3 TPs to take, and once you actually take those 3, you have the entire line to yourself at that point. So it looks like wookl's going to go Spain. There was a save reset, so I'm sure wookl is aware that he could have played Ottomans at this point, but maybe he's happy with the Spanish and happy with this matchup. But I feel the Spanish into Brit is not a great matchup for wookl, and I kind of want to say, wookl, please reconsider your decision. But that is not the role of me. That is the role of the team manager of the Mandarin Duck Squad. Maybe he can jump in there that last second message, but we're going to push in and carry on into game number 5.
Yeah. Also, maybe we will see this very famous robot playstyle now, with taking ATP and take all the natives and also the trade line TPs. And that's always quite fun and a bit tricky to answer this to this build. Maybe with even some revolt after, we will see.
Oh wow, like Fard has got the best map I've ever seen spawn in Iowa for a long time. He cannot complain about this hunt spawn. Um, one nearby starting as usual, but the side hunt's quite close, and actually a nearby forwardish hunt as well. But that could move away as we start the 5th game and goes into the 2nd age. But this is going to be the final game between Fard and wookl. Currently scores after 4 games is 2 apiece. We do see Fard representing the SKG clan spawning into the north of the map, playing as the British civilization. wookl playing as the Spanish, spawning into the south. Hopefully wookl has some sort of game plan up his sleeve, because Spain and Brit is not a matchup you'd commonly see from the Spanish point of view.
Yeah, by the way, it was a good start, but wookl is going for the wrong TP. You want to go for this one usually, to have the first pass, and no, he won't. He has just missed it. And also, yeah, he started to work on this treasure by shooting one guardian. But it's not the best treasure, in fact. I don't know why he does it, but yeah, I guess it's okay, because then you build the TP and you get your quack shot again. Not so much later, and you have the treasure for almost free.
I think wookl's just thinking, I might as well at this point, in terms of XP and just other stuff. It allows that treasure to be picked up later on. Fard could steal it, but as you say, it's 3 sheeps. You need to try and get those 3 sheeps back away from the train post as well, for it to be really effective. But wookl, Spanish War Dog out in the field, did scout this 70 food treasure, so I think wookl is making good use of his Spanish War Dog at the moment. Crackshot and a Black Bear as well, and so that's 70 food. Slightly more impactful early on than that 3 sheeps, but those 3 sheeps could be useful to be gathered up in transition to the fortress age, though.
Yeah, by the way, did you take a look at the Spanish deck now? He has ATP, Colonial Militia, Unction, so everything that could be required for some funny strategies. Also the church card, so he could even do the Pyroshiki on fire build.
I thought for a second he was going to go for a 12-10, but he was chopping wood for a secondary house and got the house down. It's now up to 15 population. For a while I thought he's just not going to chop any woods, because he had the that's 200 wood start. We do see 8 spies in deck as well, and you're playing against British. The British Civ, not usually known for getting mercenaries out in the 3rd age. Both Lancer cards and the Hussars, but no cav combat, no hand infantry combat, and just no upgrade cards in general from wookl, apart from the Unction.
Oh yeah, 8 spies. I understood 8 spies in the beginning. I was wondering what she was talking about, but okay, yeah, 8 spies. Quite surprising, in fact. I don't know why you will do that. Maybe, yeah, there is Jaegers in deck for Brit, but it's not so scary. So yeah, you don't want to ship 8 spies. I don't know what it is for. I would rather have something else. I don't know, maybe the other world's shipment, or the pikes, or I don't know.
I think cav combat would be a nice choice there, because if you do go for a revolt style, then cav combat on top of Imperial Hussars, very strong units there, very nice.
Yeah, either this or also the Lancer cards that gives them range and a bonus against infantry. This is also quite good now, because it has been buffed on EP.
Looks like Fard's moving back. He may actually want to actually steal this 3 sheep treasure. wookl is standing nearby 2 stray sheep. Interesting things coming out from wookl today.
Yeah. Sorry, my little brother is disturbing me a bit, but no worries.
We do see age ups from both players. We do see the Governor age up from Fard, which is the 200 coin and the Outpost Wagon. We see the Governor age up from wookl as well. So standard age up from the Spanish player. Looks like Fard may actually want to push out and try and play a little bit forward, contesting a bit of map control here. And the first shipment's coming in from both players, 3 vills. wookl hasn't sent another shipment. He has 2 in deck at the moment. I don't think we'll be seeing advanced trading posts this game.
No, he would have shipped it already if he wanted to. But yeah, I guess he will go for standard FF build. That's a bit of a struggle that he's aging up late, but it's quite usual that you sometimes can't age up 15 when you go for a trading post stage 1, especially when I think it was a wood start and not a wood plus food start, which makes it easier to steal age up 15. And also because he missed the first pass of the TP by going for the middle one. But British is playing quite aggressive, in fact.
Yeah, that missing that first XP pass was quite impactful for wookl, and it feels like if you're playing in a tournament and playing on a set map pool that you know in advance, you should be aware of how a map spawns and how things like the first experience pass and TP's passes, you should be pretty familiar with each of the map pool, especially if you're playing a civ like Spain and Ottoman, which we've seen wookl play already. Do you think wookl should have gone for a faster age up though? Because you're playing British, you're going to be down in eco regardless, and actually it's the tempo advantage as the Spanish is your real driving force to win games, and he's now already got 1,200 food already gathered, but the 700 coin hasn't even arrived yet.
Yeah, that's the struggle. Yeah, I would always try to go for an age up 15 as Spain, but yeah, sometimes you just can't because it would mean you idle your TC for 30 seconds, so it doesn't make much sense. But anyway, he's patching a lot of builds on the crates now, so he will age up soon, not that late, because he didn't build anything in transition, so that's maybe okay. Oh, but there is a pike rush.
Here comes the 10 pikemen. Nobody expects the Spanish Armada. Nobody expects the Spanish. No, nobody expects the British 10 pikemen rush in age 2 though, and this could be enough to nuke the outpost. I think the town centre should be enough, especially with dogs. These dogs, war dogs, actually kind of counter what the pikemans are trying to do here. So war dogs and minutemen should be enough. He's gathering the coin for the minutes. He's turned around with the war dogs, and minutemen should be called very, very soon here for wookl. And there you go, coin being spent and dogs engaging. Minutemen about to come out. I think the dogs snare as well, so this should be really nice on wookl.
They don't snare, but still he's gonna kill a lot of pikemen. And I don't really like this strat from Fard, but at least he had time to kill the trading post, so that's probably okay. Also, no, Spain is not so far from being aged up, and the pikemen versus the H3 Spain units, they seems very awkward. When he's training full pikemen from now, I don't know what you do with that.
Or even Spanish Rodoleros would cut through the pikemen. Rodoleros having a 40% hand melee resist, and these pikemen will only tickle the Rodoleros, while the Rodoleros swords will cut through the pikes. I assume wookl, he will need to send one unit shipment to try and kind of build a mass before sending falconets, and he does have the 9 Rodoleros in the third age. He doesn't have enough coin for Highlanders, but I think going like 5 Lancers or 2 Falconets this early on versus the pure Pikes is a bit risky, and Pikes coming in again, but actually, well, what's the age up from wookl? Is it going to be the Scouts or is it going to be the Pikemen?
Probably the Scouts.
Oh, yeah. And Hussars straight onto the Pikemen there. What a nice pickup from Fard. He was pushing in, waiting for that Hussar age up, and you're getting some good value out of his pikes, and it's even more pikemen coming out from Fard. What is this strat coming out from the British player here?
Yeah, so there is one skirming queue, and the problem is that you don't counter anything Spain is doing with pikes except the buildings, because even the Lancer, they kill pikemen in 2 shots, so that's quite insane.
Oh, is it? It's 20 base timed by 3. It's going to be a 3-shot because of Pikeman's hand resist, but these skirmishers here should be enough to pick off the rest of what Fard is coming out, and then this should be enough time for wookl to send shipments back to back. He's got 2 in queue, sending 1 right now, I hope to assume, unless he's completely forgot about it. Maybe having, well, there's 2 Falconets here. Falconets unpack, and this should be a good pickup on the Pikeman. Pikeman's still trying to focus down the houses, but these Falconets are uncontested, and I think Fard is really overcommitted here. It was a nice idea.
He's just deleting his pikemen. No, he's just deleted a lot of them. So, I don't know. I think it's really bad for them. Yeah, more of them.
Like the first 10 pikes were cool. The second were interesting to take down the houses, and then the 40th pike by now is a bit. Units lost. He's already lost 40 pikes. So this was the 50th pike. Trains and 50 pikes. Wow, that's a lot of food and wood sent into it. And even 10 longbows here would have been just nicer, just to kind of be something different, and could have gone for a longbow Hussar switch. 700 coin has been behind by Fard. and I hope the Musketeers are now being trained, but still another 2 pikes being queued up. Why is Fard going pure pikeman? Like, what's he trying to do for the SKGs? Is this a strategy they've worked on? Is this Somali tactics on another level, pure pikeman play?
Well, SKG tactics are always with only 1 unit, so that's maybe why he wanted to train Sun, and then he can't train another unit because he's SKG. You Z move 1 unit. So.
God, Somali will be proud of this pikeman play, but I'm unsure. 5 Lancers do come out for wookl, guarded by 2 Falconets. More skirmishers being trained, and it feels like the Falconets countered the pikemen, the skirmishers countered the pikemen, and so did the Lancers. I hope these 2 armies don't clash, because it's just going to be one-way traffic for the Spanish player here.
Yeah, and anyway, yeah, I think Brit don't really have a plan to do something else. There is even more pikes now.
More pikes coming out. What is this? Like, in a show match, yes, I'd be like, oh, fair play for the entertainment value, but in competitive gameplay where every single win matters, each win gives you a point for your team, and the 2 teams with the highest points at the end of the all 5-week series will be progressing to the playoffs. I'll be pulling my hair out now if I was Sampu Konku watching this.
And look at the shipment as well that he's just sent distributism. What is that?
I never talk down any player or suggest any player is or not, but having 50 pikemen out in the field at the moment, or 40, it's currently got 41 pikemen out. He's got 41 pikes out. He's lost 41 pikes as well, and if he didn't lose any pikemen, he would have had a batch of 81. Church coming out from wookl. He sensed the 1,000 wood card. That could be enough resources to get the unction going. However, it does feel slightly early here to go for the donkeys. But 1,000 wood into Advanced Church, you could be getting the Guard Halberdiers.
Oh yeah, that would be also fun. But he's building a stable and some houses, so he spent the wood already. So I don't think it will be the church card next. But yeah, also, I don't know why he's playing so greedy. He could push into this mass of pike rather than waiting, because Brit still has more eco. But yeah, it's funny that Brit is sending some pikes from time to time just to scout, and they just get destroyed by the Falks one by one.
Finally, the first Hussar is in queue for Fard, and where's that stable? Stable's over here into the southwest of Fard's base, and Unction has now just come out, so we're going to see some buffed donkeys here. The first donkey coming out, getting a bit of a buff here. Where's that missionary? It's nearby the coin mine, and he's got 7 missionaries in queue. Hopefully there's another shipment coming behind us for wookl as well, because it feels like, oh, he even squeezed in Spanish gold as well, so even getting 1,200 coin from the Spanish gold, 1,000 wood and the unctions, and still lots of these pikemen doing nothing. And you know that phrase of you should always be doing something with your army? Well, both players are not, and surely it's benefiting the Spanish player. But Fard, 55 villagers out on the floor, or 52 with the distributism upgrade, could be going into Lakota natives going for the hunting ground, and could be waiting for a Lakota big button timing at 15 minutes, but he's still in the second age though. May want to wait until his fortress for that. wookl pushing out now with skirmishers, but where's the Lancers? They went on the raid. I don't know if they're still alive. Oh, they're back. Donkeys and Lancers are back, but they need to join the army. wookl, come on, pull your units together. Massive pike push on left hand side, it looks like. Actually, he's not engaging just yet, and allowing wookl to kind of regroup. And come on, wookl, all your Lancers and missionaries moving forwards. The missionaries will buff your falconets and skirmishers, and just, you need this together.
But maybe he wants to hide them just to trap the British player.
Well, he's better move fast, because we have 15 Hussars pushing in north flank, and there's no anti-cavalry here whatsoever. Even Lancers do very, very poor versus Hussars. That rod shipment would be very nice. Pikemen moving left-hand sides, and these will demolish the donkeys and Lancers. And has Fard actually done this? I don't believe this. I don't believe this at all. What is this?
Yeah, I don't know what's the plan to kill the Hussars, no. So, yeah.
Okay, these Lancers, 32 hand attack, timed by 3 with the pikes. The pikes are melting, but the Hussars will just take down the falconets and the skirmishers. Where is that Rodolero shipment we needed? Those rods would have countered both the pikemen and hussars, and even the donkeys are having to tank a lot of damage. 4 lancers being reinforcement shipment from wookl. No units in train at the moment, and I don't believe this. Fard has done this with his pure pikeman play and hussars. Wow.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. I don't know. That's quite tough for Spain, suddenly.
Please add this to the strategy wall in the ESOC section. This is going to go down in history, and even Fard can't believe it.
Yeah. He's surprised he managed to win with that. That's funny.
Rodolero's guard halberdiers, anything could have been better than pushing out with skirmishers, lancers into hussars. Wow, Fard now pushing in with his strong eco behind this and just units in queue. Another 4 hussars. We have the cavalry HP and attack from these guys. These hussars are essentially veteran hussars and very strong at this point. And yeah, pikemen now sieging down the town centre. It feels like wookl's push of those donkeys from the missionaries just wasn't enough. 5 more missionaries being popped out, but he's engaging with his lancers and dragoons before they arrive. Villagers coming out to tank, but no more town centre fire. These pikemen feel like they're now unchallenged. Even he's trying to fight the pikemen with the missionaries, and that's not going to go well for you, wookl.
Do they have the cavalry tag now?
No, they don't actually. No, it's just priests. These pikemen are doing 8 attack each, so... And Rodolero's coming out, and that's what he needed earlier on, but GG's been called by wookl, and oh my god. I'm looking at the chat now as well, and it's exploding. Everyone's going, one earth's going on here. Sampu Konku, what a top tier strat coming out of your player from your team. That was top tier gameplay.
Yeah, I think they have worked on it quite well. That's nice, but I liked the game overall. That was really fun once. Good series.
Yeah, Villager and Resus is very high for Fard. Let's have a quick look at the shipments and XP in total just to see what that was all about. You see the Spanish player just ahead from the early TP and the XP bonus, but military unit population, this is just going to be one-way traffic, and yeah, Fard just overwhelmed with those pikes and hussars, and wookl only had 50 mil pop at that point. They were unction boosted, but that fell very quickly, and afterwards there was just no reinforcements. Well, Fard was pumping out more of those pikemen and hussars, and just I wouldn't consider that a conventional strategy from Fard, and maybe that was what you need to do in some of these matches, and just play non-standards and catch your opponent not unsuspecting.